Is it too warm in here, y'all? It's kind of warm. Okay. Kind of warm to me. Maybe it's because the blinds is open. Hey, Keyshawn, look. You know, there's some things about my life that I never wanted to share. I just wanted to brush it away and like make pretend it never happened and keep pushing forward. And probably that personality or that characteristic of me has gotten me where I am today, because I am so strong-headed. Like, I have personality test that says that I took it 5 years apart thinking it would change, but it still says I'm very assertive and forceful. But that's the only way I knew to survive, was to just keep pushing and pushing and try to rely on nobody but myself.
And that's how you kind of felt as a young age.
Right, that's how I felt as a young age, because I felt like, to be honest, I always felt like, well, my parents don't understand unless it comes unless it manifests as a good grade. So like, we weren't allowed to bring home C's. And I graduated from high school with a 3.9, but I still had harbored a lot of pain that I experienced in high school, which made me make some bad decisions going through college. And even in college, you know, continuing to make some bad decisions. But I knew that if I got a good grade, and for my parents, it would all be fine. You know, as long as I brought home that 3 point something or graduated on time with their bachelor's degree, it's okay. But then after that, it was still, you know, very seemingly lonely nights, and depending a lot on Keyshawn to bring me that, to fill the void of a lack of love that I felt. So Keyshawn was like that whole. He encompassed everything that I thought that I wasn't getting everywhere else, but I didn't realize it honestly till now, because he's gone. So, you know, and I know this is probably off kilter, but if he had decided to just use the AAA card, maybe he wouldn't have gotten hit changing his own tire. But Keyshawn was the type that if he learns how to change his tire, he changes his tire. If he learned how to change his brakes, he changing his own brakes, because that's what he did. He called around till he found someone, you know how to change brakes? Come on, show me. What do I need to buy? You know, because he's like, if I can do it myself, I'm doing it. The front door knob broke one time. He took the whole thing apart. I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, you know, my door gonna be wide open. By the time I got home, he had fixed the whole thing, put it back together. He was just that type of guy. He's like, Ma, if I can do it myself, I'm not gonna let anybody else do it. So his dad is I think he's a maintenance supervisor or whatever, but he's really good with his hands. So he would watch his dad and my father and say, if I can watch you guys do it, then next time I'll do it myself. I actually met his dad when I was working at McDonald's. Hey. And I was 16 years old. He got in my line. And that's how we exchanged numbers. And we lost touch. And then I met him again around the age of 20, 19 going on 20. And I had Keyshawn when I was 21. I had to go to school part-time to finish my degree. And I graduated with him on my hip. That's why I try to tell people, if you get pregnant in school, don't sweat it. It's going to work out. You know, Keyshawn was on my hip. I'm successful. It's okay. Like, it's going to be okay. I think about her, Mr. Collins, Richard Collins, right? And I think about Keyshawn, and I'm like, you know, God, why did these men just have to be there at that time? You know, maybe Richard could have, I don't know, left a half hour earlier and not been walking the street or on a bus stop or wherever he was. Right, you know, and I think about Keyshawn, the same thing. Like, why couldn't he have left the party a half hour later and not, you know, been in that place at that time? The only thing I ever told Keyshawn in terms of living in Baltimore, stay out the city. Because you're not going to be able to be there all the time. And my girlfriend asked me, she says, you were a phenomenal mother. Can you tell me what to do? I'm like, there's no book on parenting. You do the best you can. You know, if you're spiritual, you pray over and ask God what to tell your child. Because I used to like, Lord, please guide my mouth as I speak to Keyshawn so he won't take it the wrong way, or just let me know what I need to tell him, you know. And besides that, what you really worry about are the other people. And with this incident, again, and with Richard, there's nothing wrong with what he did. There's nothing wrong with what Keyshawn did. No, it wasn't a good place, but did he know that somebody was going to be disobeying the speed limit and come swinging around the corner? And with Richard Collins, how did he know that there was some, crazy, hateful person on campus that was just trigger ready that night? Your worry is I'm sure she raised her son the best she could, Richard's parents, but they didn't raise that young man. You got to worry about other people. He's gone, and now, like, it just doesn't make sense, and my life didn't seem to make sense. But I have a lot of people in my church family and outside of my church family and my own family, my real family, that encourage me. And I have these folks downstairs. So with these stories that I thought I never wanted to share, like now I've become more comfortable with sharing them, because I was like, somebody needs to hear it. Somebody needs to know that these things can happen, and you'll still see this person and you'll never know that these things happen, but it comes with a lot of internal strength. A lot of my sorrow is just feeling sorry for myself, because I'm single. I had one child. I had one shot in my current state, I had one shot of being a grandparent one day. I had one shot of spending time with my grandchildren, or having someone who can look after my affairs when I'm too old to do so. And now I have maybe nobody. I do have 14, 15 nieces and nephews, but it's not the same. So I like when they come over, and I sat here by myself for a long time. It's a fairly big open space right here, right? And sometimes I count and I'm like, God, I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 17 chairs on this floor, 17 places for somebody to sit. And it's only me here. Like, why did you give me so much? And I'm gonna get ready to cry. And I'm so alone sometimes. So I appreciate when they come by, because I know I was not blessed with all of this. So even the space downstairs for them now, like they down there, if I count those chairs, it's another 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 chairs to sit. And I'm like, God, why do I have all these places for people to be here? Nobody's here. Thank you. And, I have family and everything, but sometimes I think I need them more than they need me. And they're not my kids, but they provide an outlet for me to share my experiences, and to know that the most terrible times in my life that I've been through are not in vain, because they can help someone else. So if that's what I call my new norm or my new purpose now, then I accept it. It's just some people benefiting off the death of my son. I don't think that's right, but hey, to each his own. My son's car, nobody being stopped. They got cameras. I mean, I don't know how many camera red light tickets I got. They see everything else, but they don't see this speeding car coming up Hilton Parkway to the demise of my son. He never had a record. He got suspended once in school, and that was in middle school, for a kid that kept calling him out his name. And I told him, I said, tell him your name one more time, and he call you out your name again after that, you have my permission to hit him.
Put the hands out.
I said, and I will not punish you. I said, because some people, they not going to learn until you know. Yeah. And I think that next day I got a phone call by 9:30 a.m. It went out. Oh. Yeah. I said, did he mess with you after that? He said, nope. He stood in line after me for lunch too, and he didn't say nothing. I said, good.
There you go. Lesson learned.
So, I mean, even then, even in times like that, sometimes your kids need to know they got your support. Yeah, but even the stories that they told, like enlighten me. Like they were like, you know, Keyshawn didn't like arguing and fighting, which I already knew, but for him to carry that over as a young adult to strangers, like, yo, stop it. Like he hated turmoil and fighting. Like I never had to worry about him trying to have disagreements, because he wasn't about that. Like he hated fighting and turmoil. That's why when I see some of his friends having disagreements with her, like Keyshawn wasn't about that. He didn't fight. Oh man, family support is, to me right now, is everything. Because in my state of mind, when I sit home and I'm like, on the days where I said to myself, I'd rather be dead, or days when I'm like, you know, counting my own heartbeats, because I'm like, when is this gonna stop? Or like, what am I supposed to do the next 20 to 30 years? Like nobody expects me to go. I'm too healthy. You know, I'm still running 2 to 3 miles at a time if I feel like it. Like, you know, I'm not weak enough to, or strong enough, I guess I should say, to go out and walk in front of a moving truck, you know. So like, what am I gonna do? And then somebody hits my phone, or somebody will call, you know. And that to me is everything now. Even people, even if they don't come by all the time, you know, everybody's taking turns. Like even my girlfriends called themselves on Keysha duty. They would take a day of the week. Like, okay, it's my turn. Like, hey girl, you got me today. What can I do? I'm like, get out my face. Nope, not gonna do it. So I mean, I got so much love for those ladies. We call ourselves Lucky Seven. You know, and they've been on my hip as well. You know, everybody you gotta figure out what is your best outlet. Like I tried 2 therapy groups and I didn't like it.
She said she didn't like it.
Right, I didn't like it. I felt like I was being spectated upon, because all I did was cry. I was like, I don't want to go anywhere and cry for an hour. I can do that here, you know. So I found my therapy. The therapy that works best for me is being around the people I know and love, you know. Like I love these kids. I love, you know, their moms. I love my family. Those are the people that make me feel better and give me purpose to keep going. And I didn't even know I was depressed until I tried to go back to work. And I filled out some questionnaire and started talking to somebody. And I realized the whole time I was there, I was crying. Like, really, Keisha? You think they're going to let you go back and take care of patients and and reprimand people? Like, no.
You taking people's blood.
Right, taking people's blood.
Hey, what's wrong?
Right, like, you know, you have to talk. You have to talk. It doesn't, and it's not about who somebody chooses for you, but you have to choose something. Choose somebody. Even if you start with a journal, you know, start with writing down how you feel until you get comfortable with telling someone how you feel. And if you don't have anybody close to you that you want to talk to, find somebody in a supportive group that you may not know as well, but is offering to be a listening ear. Yeah, and I didn't think so either. Now I did accept medication at the beginning of all this. You know, there's people like, oh, I'm not a pill popper, I'm not this, I'm not that. But if you know, this is, you just, like I said, it's humbling and it breaks you down. It breaks you down to a point you never thought you could be at. But I'm glad I took the Xanax, to be honest, because I needed it the first couple weeks. Because I was everything was like making me cry, burst in tears, couldn't breathe. Like, it's just bad. And I can't imagine going on like this if this young lady is still going on. Like, it should be getting better, but it's not going to be fast. Like, sometimes I feel like he just left yesterday. You know, it's not going to be fast, and there's no time limit on healing. You go at your own pace, but you got to find something that works for you. This is, these are the shelves that are going to go up with his stuff, for his trophies.
Oh, like one of those movie bedrooms.
It looks like, it's better than it was, though. It was dumb cluttered. But I did what I told him I was going to do. I got him a new bedspread and stuff. And I still did that. And I always keep this out because I like to come read the comments every now and then. and stuff. And he was just like my dad. Keyshawn played the piano, which most people don't know.
Heck no, I didn't know he
Played the piano. Taught himself how to swim. He's like jumped in 10 feet. I was screaming.
This
So
is the
like,
one you
this is the last number he had at Newtown, but the number he loved was 22. That's why I got 22 on my arm. Cause he has his ring from Hamilton because they won the Maryland State Championship one year, and he got inside of it Deuce Deuce. He wanted his friends to call him Deuce Deuce. That's what I mean. Keyshawn lived. Like, he did so much. I got pictures of him ziplining through the jungle.
Ziplining through the jungle.
Jungle in St. Kitts.
Shoot, he was living.
Yeah, he did a lot. Lord, what I look like?
Let me see.
What was it?
Here we go.
This you, right? Where you at?
Yeah, I'm just recording this.
Oh yeah, that is you. That's what you did.
And this me right here, and